Every time you announce your goal out loud, you're paying yourself in advance for work you haven't done. The applause arrives early, the respect arrives early, the identity you are chasing arrives early, and your nervous system can't tell the difference between the real thing and the rehearsal. By the time you sit down to actually do the work, the pressure that was supposed to push you has already been spent. By the end of this, you'll understand why silence is the most powerful fuel you've ever underestimated. There's a specific kind of person who knows exactly what their 5-year plan sounds like out loud. They've described the book they're writing to 9 different people. They've narrated the business they're launching at 3 different dinners. They feel productive. They feel aligned. They feel like things are moving, and yet the document is still on page 4, and the website still says coming soon in a font they picked 8 months ago. You know this person. Maybe you've been this person. The strange part isn't that they don't care. The strange part is how much they do care, and how little that caring translates into motion. Something is happening inside the mind that almost nobody names. When you state an intention publicly, your brain releases a small reward for the declaration itself. The future version of you who has done the thing flickers into existence for a moment, and other people respond to that flicker. They nod, they congratulate, they say, "Wow, that sounds amazing." And in that moment, you receive a tiny dose of the exact emotional payoff the finished goal was supposed to deliver. The vision is being consumed before it's been built. Social psychologist Peter Gollwitzer ran a series of experiments on this in the early 2000s. Participants were asked to write down a meaningful identity goal: becoming a lawyer, becoming a writer, becoming the kind of person who finishes things. Half were allowed to share the goal with the experimenter, half kept it private. Then everyone was given a window of time to actually work toward it. The people who had announced their intention worked less, significantly less. They also reported feeling closer to the goal than the silent group, even though they'd done nothing. Read that one more time slowly. The talkers felt closer to the goal. They had moved nowhere. This is what the law of assumption has been pointing at for centuries, just in different vocabulary. Consciousness is the only true cause. The state you occupy internally determines what objectifies in your outer world. And the state of having already arrived, which is what public declaration creates, is a counterfeit version of fulfillment. Your assumption stops being "I am becoming this." Your assumption silently shifts to "I am the kind of person who talks about becoming this." Those are different worlds. They produce different lives. Neville Goddard wrote about this in his own way. He insisted that the imaginal act, the inner conviction of the wish fulfilled, had to be felt and then released. Felt and then dropped back into the unseen so it could ripen. He called talking about it prematurely robbing the seed of its dark. Every time you dig the seed up to show your friends, you interrupt the root. The people in your life who applaud your announcements are acting as a mirror. They're reflecting back the version of you that you just performed. And that reflection becomes part of the assumption you carry. The more you perform the vision, the more your subconscious starts to register the performance as the goal itself. The applause is the harvest. Your system goes quiet. Why would it keep pushing towards something it's already being rewarded for? So what's actually keeping the silent ones in motion? A specific kind of friction. When you hold a goal privately, an internal gap opens up. There's the person the world currently sees and the person you've decided you're becoming. Only you know about a second one. That gap is uncomfortable. It hums, it pulls. Every morning you wake up and feel the distance between the two versions, and that distance becomes the engine. It's tension that wants resolution. The moment you announce the goal, the gap collapses. The outer world is now informed of the second version. Your nervous system relaxes because the discrepancy has been socially acknowledged. People are treating you as if you're already on the path. The hum stops, the pull stops, and you sit there wondering why you suddenly can't find the energy you had last week when nobody knew. That hum is sacred. Protect it. There's a moment in your day, probably in the morning before anyone has spoken to you, when you can feel what you actually want with a kind of quiet precision. No audience, no reaction to manage. Just the inner conviction. That's the state Goddard called the wish fulfilled, and the reason he kept telling people to enter it in private, in the assumption, and then go about their day as if it had already happened. Enter it. There's a difference between living from a state and reporting on it. Now someone reasonable pushes back. They'd say, accountability works, public commitments work. Telling your trainer, You'll be there at 6 in the morning makes you show up. They're right for a specific kind of goal. Tactical, near-term behavioral commitments respond well to social pressure. I will go to the gym Tuesday is a contract you can keep with witnesses. But identity-level goals, becoming a writer, becoming wealthy, becoming the version of yourself you've been quietly designing, operate on a different circuit. Announcing those dilutes you. The mistake is treating an identity transformation like a workout schedule. A different kind of person operates underneath the radar. They keep what they're building to themselves. Months pass, years pass. Then one day a finished thing appears in the world. A book, a body, a business, a new life, and everyone around them is bewildered. When did you even do this? They did it during the silence you didn't notice they were keeping. The gap between who they were and who they were becoming was doing all the work. Try this for a week. Pick the one goal that matters most to you right now, the big one, the identity level one, and stop talking about it. If someone asks what you're working on, give them an answer about something else entirely, or say, a few things, nothing worth mentioning yet. Watch what happens to your internal energy by day 3. There's a specific pressure that returns when the vision has nowhere to leak. It's almost unsettling at first. You'll feel a strange urge to release it, to tell someone, to get the small hit of acknowledgement. Resist that. The urge itself is the proof that talking was draining you. Here's the inner work most people avoid. Your tendency to announce your goals is rarely about the goal. It's about how you feel right now, today, in the body you currently inhabit. The announcement is medication for present moment discomfort. You're trying to escape the gap by collapsing it socially. Naming this in yourself, honestly, is the first move. The next time you feel the urge to mention what you're building, pause and ask, what am I trying to feel in this exact moment that I haven't earned yet? If you sit with that question instead of speaking, something shifts. You start to notice that the discomfort of being unseen in your becoming is exactly the discomfort that was supposed to drive you. It's the fuel. The seed needs the dark. The root needs the silence. And you've been digging it up every time you got nervous about whether anyone would notice you growing. There's an old line from the Tao Te Ching that lands here: those who know don't speak. Those who speak don't know. It sounds harsh until you've lived both sides of it. The version of you that has actually arrived feels no compulsion to announce the arrival. The compulsion to announce is itself a tell, a sign that the assumption still needs external scaffolding to stand up. When the assumption is genuinely yours, you can carry it through a crowded room without saying a word, and the room still feels it. That's what the great teachers meant by living in the end, living from it, as if it's already done. And when you live from a finished state, you have no reason to tell anyone, because telling would imply incompleteness. The wealthy person doesn't announce their wealth. The artist doesn't announce their art. The person who has become simply is. The behavior follows automatically, so the practical shape of this is simple, even if it's difficult. Hold the vision in private. Feel it as already true, in moments of stillness, particularly before sleep and just after waking, when the conscious mind is loose enough for the assumption to slip past it. Do the work without narrating the work. Let people discover what you've built only when the building has become undeniable. And when you feel the urge to perform the vision, to drop a hint, to mention it casually, to test the waters, recognize that urge for what it is: a leak, a drain on the pressure that was supposed to move you. You'll know it's working when something quiet starts to happen. The urgency stops feeling like anxiety and starts feeling like gravity. You'll move toward the goal without forcing yourself to. The hum will turn into momentum. And one day you'll look back and realize you assumed the new life, in silence, and walked there with no witnesses. The next conversation you have today, the next time someone asks how things are going, try keeping one thing back. Just one. The thing that matters most. Carry it home with you undiluted and let it pull you through tomorrow morning. The seed is still in the dark. The dark is where it learns to become a tree.